I'd like to request all the participants to switch off their microphone, because we are getting a lot of background noise.
Are you able to see my screen?
We are not able to see your screen.
How about now?
Not now, not yet.
Maybe it's taking a few seconds. How about now?
Yes, GNSS Asia. Yes.
That's correct. So
Okay.
let me make it full screen. I hope
Okay.
you.
Yes. Yes. It's okay now.
Okay,
It's
great.
full screen.
Thank you so much. So the topic, as I mentioned to you, is about the applications in GNSS. I have also another colleague and associate, Colonel Verlin, who will be doing an event on more to do with technicalities that will follow my session. So my session is slated for about an hour and 15 minutes. So let me try to wrap it up in an hour. And I would like to have some questions before I hand over the session to Colonel Valen. Now, let me give you the background. Most of you are aware about this topic, GNSS, so I don't want to go into the basics of it or the fundamentals of it. But I'm going to focus more on the applications. And the idea is that the people that are watching today, many of them can become entrepreneurs. And whoever is also, let's say, working in another organization can get inspired by the opportunities that are there. So the entrepreneurship, as you know, is about solving challenges, right? And something which you see in your environment about your topic in which you specialize. So in this case, it's GNSS. So we're going to look at some of those applications and how you can solve those challenges that exist. And then, there's a organization of GNSS Asia. We can help you in scaling that into Europe and also rest of Asia. So what is GNSS Asia? So GNSS Asia is an organization funded by the European Commission. Now we are in the 10th year of our operations, and the objective of GNSS Asia is for industrial cooperation across continents. So what we do under that is 3 objectives. We bring about industrial cooperation. We also create institutional relations. Like, for example, Burdwan University can collaborate with a like-minded university either in Europe or in Asia for research, as well as for faculty exchange, student exchange, and even to solve problems together. And the third objective is to promote GNSS in multi-GNSS context. So we've been running a program called Multi-GNSS Asia, in which Dr. Anindya Bose have been also attending and presenting his papers. So this is our team. So my colleague Rainer had already presented a session earlier. So this is something I presume most of you know. So you can see on the top who are the people make the European side of it. And then you can also see in Asia who are the other people who are operating it. And now we're getting into the partner network in Asia. So like, for example, if you take in India, we primarily collaborate in terms of the government institutions, Space Application Center, Ahmedabad, ISRO, which is in Bangalore, as well as Airport Authority of India, that's based in Delhi. So this is as far as India. Likewise, you can see how the partnership plays out in the rest of Asia, and also a cross-border relationship between these institutions in Asia and India, and the other way around. And over the years, we have even expanded now to Australia, Southeast Asia, and that is what you're seeing in the bottom row. What we do under the GNSS Asia is we conduct a lot of events. So some of the pictures that you can see here are those events that were conducted prior to COVID. And these were all in-person events. So these were events not only in Europe, like in Munich Satellite Summit, for example, or The Hague, and also similar events in Asia, as well as in India. So there are some pictures that you can see here that captures those moments. And we would like to go into a little bit about what is GSA. Of course, there's a change in the name now, it's USPA, and it's responsible for marketing both the operations of Galileo and IGNOS. So you can see these are the headquarters, and you can see some of the details about the organization. So the headquarters is in Prague in Czech Republic, and we also have other offices in France, Netherlands, Spain, Belgium. And you can also see that we've been operating from 2014 and Galileo from 2017, delivering safe and secure European satellite system and ensuring European companies are using Galileo and IGNOS in their applications. And not only that, we are also encouraging startups in the GNSS sector in a big way with funding and other mentorship and guidance. We're also making sure that European citizens are benefiting from both IGNOS and Galileo. So just to give you an example, you will see later on, is in agriculture, 70% of farmers are dependent on the IGNOS operations. So even for a day, if there is a shutdown, the farmers start calling up the support center because there's so much data and information is made available for them to take decisions. So you can see what is IGNOS. So it's another overlay service. It's an SBOS, like very similar to Gagan India. It improves GNSS performance, and it's basically an augmentation of GPS. It's a complete coverage for the whole European continent and an extension in other regions, including North Africa. And it's available free of charge, and it's widely adopted in off-the-shelf receivers. You can also see in terms of what is open service, the accuracy is less than a meter, and it is free. And this has been available for over 12 years now. And then we have safety of life. Accuracy is less than a meter again, compliant to the aviation standards and integrity. It's also available from March 2011. IGNOS data access service, accuracy of less than a meter. And you're also seeing that it has been available from July 2012. GNSS is offering, we're looking at eGNSS, offering several services, and some of it I already covered. And it is something made in the EU, and it's available for worldwide navigation, fully compatible to GPS, open service, free of charge, and dual frequency. Signal authentication will provide trustability. And we have also mentioned, some of these applications before. I will also touch upon that. So freely accessible service for positioning and timing. It's open service. Encrypted service designed for greater robustness and higher availability. It's a PRS. Assists locating people in distress and confirms that help is on the way. And if, for example, a farmer stranded, or say you have a fisherman stranded, in different locations, whether on land or on sea, the help can reach them through the SAR. to deliver high accuracy services for commercial applications. And we also have the SaaS, which is another form of another commercial applications available for common citizens like you and me. Galileo will provide specific differentiators for more robust and accurate positioning. So we have, as you know, other positioning technologies like Wi-Fi. We have also inertial sensors, mobile networking. And in the GNSS positioning, we also have the multi-GNSS nowadays, so that the receiver is able to get signals from not only from GPS, but also other competing constellations. So multi-GNSS allows increased accuracy, increased availability, reduced time to first fix, and increased resilience. And then if you look at Galileo differentiators, how Galileo is different from what you're seeing here, it's high precision, signal authentication, return link capability, and it is also increased robustness. And particularly for India, Galileo is very important because it is at a 30-degree angle, orbital plane. So that makes it very ideal for Indian conditions, specifically for mining and other under-the-ground operations. Regional market share, so you can see how the component manufacturers and system integrators are playing a role in terms of the percentages and the different applications. You can see from the point of view of Europe, North America, Asia, Russia, as well as Europe. And you can see on the other side, system integrators, how they're playing the role. So you can see in Asia and Russia, it's 60%. And in the component manufacturers, North America is leading at 61%. Similarly, if you go towards surveying, which is the last one, 36% is Europe, 40% is North America, component manufacturers, and 24% are in Asia, as well as in Russia. And system integrators, 37% are in Europe, 34% in North America, and 29% are in Asia and Russia. Added value service providers cannot be linked directly to market segments. So aggregated values amount to, that's what you're seeing here as a summary, is that 50% is in North America, it's the highest. Europe has 26%, followed by Asia and Russia at 24%. So the use of GNSS is key for 8 different market segments, like location-based service. We also have road. So nowadays you're hearing a lot about this road tolling. The government is planning to move 100% GNSS-based road tolling. So they are talking about this being available in the next 2 years. So the whole country will be covered. So there's a huge opportunity for entrepreneurs to solve challenges there. Similarly, aviation has been around for many years. Rail, of course, there are so many challenges. How to make Wi-Fi available, on a moving train is one such opportunity available for startups. And I see another opportunity which is there is to do with, when you're in a tunnel, how are you going to communicate? So this is anything to do with underground, or where you have this location issues where the signals of the GNSS cannot reach. You have an opportunity there. So we have, for example, maritime, agriculture, surveying, timing and synchronization. These are all the other opportunities that exist for the upcoming entrepreneurs. Here are some more details. LBS applications and markets. So that gives you an idea of where you can focus as an entrepreneur. So the GNSS applications, you can see navigation, it's about, so I've given one example niche. It's about route planning and turn-by-turn instructions based on GNSS support. So this also becomes very important when you're looking at the autonomous cars or autonomous vehicles, because they are going to, for example, deliver. You might have seen some of these videos where the Uber is delivering food to clients. So the car comes automatically on its own and delivers the food, and then it returns back to the original station. So this is one such scenario that is going to come as a commonplace in the future. We're already seeing this in Singapore and Dubai and all that, where, for example, moving people within the trade fair, they're already doing it in an autonomous manner. And they're also using it, for example, to a stadium or to move people within let's say, a park and so on. Mapping and GIS, smartphones enable users to become map creators. And you might have already known that even Apple has come up with a map system. It's not really Google. Map is available from, for example, Map My India as well. So there are many opportunities there as well. Geo-marketing and advertising, yes, this is another big opportunity. So consumer preferences are combined with positioning data. So for example, if the company comes to know that you are interested in food, a particular type of food, like noodles, for example, when you're passing by, let's say, a restaurant which is specializing in noodles, you will get a text message that, there's something special today. So this is an example of geo-marketing and advertising. Safety and emergency. Yes, of course, most of you know, we had this Nirbhaya case in India. So this, drives home this particular importance. GNSS in combination with network-based methods provides accurate emergency caller location. So nowadays, it has become mandatory to have a red button in auto rickshaws and also in taxis. So you'll be able to use that red button to call attention from the nearest police station. Enterprise applications, mobile workforce management, and tracking solutions help companies to improve productivity. So for example, if you have a very big company, they want to know where a particular person is located. They can use this. And this is a huge opportunity for entrepreneurs out there. Sports, GNSS enables monitoring of users' performance through a variety of fitness applications. So this is something you already are familiar through Fitbit and the Apple Watch, and there are so many other watches, digital watches today, that helps you to keep track of how much steps you covered, what distance you ran or walked, etc. This is another good example of sports applications. There are, of course, still a lot more opportunities there to develop applications. Games and augmented reality. GNSS enables a wide range of location-based games on smartphones and tablets. In augmented reality games, positioning and virtual information are combined to entertain the user. So you can actually feel as if you are driving a car, or it's a simulated motorbike that you can ride, and it will be like you're in a real track. So those kind of AR, VR opportunities and applications exist. M-Health, of course, is something mobile health. In combination with other technologies, GNSS enables a vast array of applications where people can be tracked. Somebody with a heart condition can be tracked, and if there is any alarms, that can be reported to the nearest hospital so that this patient can get immediate help. And then, most importantly, the visually impaired. So the visually impaired people can use systems to guide themselves. There are many systems already available today. Personal tracking. GNSS facilitates innovative tracking solutions, including deployment of local geofences that trigger an alarm when a user leaves the perimeter. So, for example, you want to have a perimeter system around your school or a college. You can easily monitor if somebody is moving outside the perimeter of the university or a college, and that information can be useful to know if someone was in the school or not, in terms of reporting attendances. Social networking, friend locators embedded in social networks is also another. So you're able to figure out where is your friend and how to locate him or her, so that you can keep in touch, and then also travel information can be shared. On your right, you see the revenue of GNSS device sales and services by type. So whatever you saw on the left, you can see the applications being played out and how the market is growing. So this gives you a very good clue. That is in the pink on the top, you can see is the software applications. So that is growing. Then you can also see the one in the green, which is data revenue from smartphones and tablets. Then you can see also the blue one, light blue, which is personal tracking devices that we see the market is continuing to grow. And the gray, you can also see you have the smartphone, PDAs, etc. Those market is also growing. So this gives you a good idea. These are all, in terms of billions of euros, on your left in the y-axis, you can see how the revenue is growing versus the year, the revenue of GNSS device sales and services by type. GNSS is considered a commodity inside smartphones with little room for innovation. So GNSS sensors are included in many devices, 6 billion units that was installed as of 2018, and it is projected to be around 30 billion by 2030. So you're seeing here, for example, how the GNSS is part of every smartphone. And you can see also the various applications here, and how it is, for example, used for monitoring, let's say, for example, humidity, or, for example, barometric pressure, moisture, and ambient temperature, and so on. This is a good example of how you can use the smartphone for understanding the environmental conditions. And on your right, you can also see the installed base of GNSS devices by region. You can see that the market for Asia is growing very fast. That's the one in the brown. So the Asia Pacific region is the hottest market. And then you have the other markets also growing, but slowly compared to what's in Asia. So if you were to develop a startup or an application in the GNSS, most likely the users are going to be in Asia. Multi-constellation improves availability in urban environments. As you can see, there are so many applications on your street, for example. The need to provide enhanced geolocation capabilities. So you're hearing about drones delivering food, medicines. These are good examples of how multi-constellation can improve and deliver precisely the goods and, let's say, services to the needy and also the customers. So we have this Galileo's being, let's say, doing some projects with ST Micronics, that is, and then you have Qualcomm, Intel, Broadcom, MediaTek. So with all these leading manufacturers, Galileo has been collaborating and developing applications. You also see on your left supported constellation by GNSS receivers. The one in the brown is the highest. That's the GPS plus Baidu, which is a Chinese constellation that has got the highest growth in terms of the number of receivers, multi-GNSS receivers. Then the other markets you can see is the one in the green, also GPS, GLONASS, and Baidu combination. Similarly, you can see GPS only, which is number one, which is like almost 20%, 22%. Then you can see the combination of the other constellations, So this is how the market is growing. The demand for further accuracy will support the uptake of dual frequency in mass market. So we see, for example, we have in India, we have a dual frequency. And this is going to happen more and more in heavily populated areas like Asia. So historically, GNSS chipsets for a mass market uses a single frequency. However, the interest of dual frequency increased, enabled by semiconductors industry development. So the technologies were advancing, so they were able to introduce two frequencies, pushed by the use of applications more and more demanding in terms of location. Broadcom already, has been doing this, and recently, Qualcomm and Intel has also announced dual frequency chipsets. So the people who are interested in hardware can, look at collaborating with these organizations. Maybe some of the chipsets are available from them that you can use for your application development. So some of the examples of dual frequency phones, Xiaomi, the world's first dual frequency GNSS smartphone, Mi8. It's fitted with Broadcom BCM's 47755 chip. It was launched on May 31st, 2018. It's the world's first smartphone providing below meter accuracy for LBS and vehicle navigation. Raw measurements can help to provide even higher accuracy. They use actually L1, E1 and L5, E5 frequencies. And then the second phone that has been doing this is Huawei. So both are Chinese manufacturers. First dual frequency GNSS smartphone, Mate 20 Pro, fitted with Broadcom BCM 47755 chip, same as the one that you saw in Xiaomi. This was launched in November 2018. And we are now seeing some more phones slated to enter the market. Now we're getting into a little bit more detail about these applications, the opportunities that exist for those of you that want to develop applications and also get into entrepreneurship or startups. Smart mobility applications, improving efficiency, effectiveness, control of road transportation. So I've already given you an example of GNSS-based navigation is the most widespread application, providing turn-by-turn indications. Fleet management on board units. This is another common application, for example, in India. Satellite road traffic monitoring. So we are able to, this is of course something which is coming to India, not yet there. We all use receivers for sure, but satellite road traffic monitoring is something which we have yet to implement, may come in the future. So services collect floating car location data from vehicles through PNDs and IVS and mobile devices, then process traffic information to be distributed to users so that they know if there's a traffic jam and they could avoid that. Safety critical applications, leveraging on accurate and secure positioning to scenarios of potential harm to humans. Then in cooperative, you have also ITS GNSS positioning information. Feeds technologies allowing road vehicles to communicate with other vehicles and also with traffic signals, roadside infrastructure, and other road users. Advanced driver assistance systems provide the driver with the driving process and acts as a first stepping towards autonomous vehicles. So like I said, autonomous vehicles are already making inroads. It is a question of time they'll be available across all continents. Dangerous goods tracking. So you would like to know if there is some toxic chemicals or you have oil or such of those inflammable materials being carried, you would like to also track them. So this is also possible. There's another opportunity out there. The third big opportunity is the liability critical applications. So it actually helps you to track, like I said, about road tolling, significant legal and economic consequences, and based on the way the driver is maneuvering the car, you can also charge the insurance premiums. So that is what you're seeing. Insurance telematics black boxes rely on GNSS data to increase the fairness of motor insurance. So the premium will go up or down based on how well the driver maneuvers. The fourth big opportunity is regulated applications, something like eCall, which is the vehicle itself, sends a distress signal in case the passenger is involved in an accident, and it dials automatically 112 and then brings immediate help to the persons that are involved in the accident. Then the next one is the smart tachographs, is the leverage on GNSS positioning, road enforcing. So for example, somebody is deviating from a particular path and going into a no vehicle zone, then you can use this technology to track and then report why penalties are being levied. Installed base and road revenues. So this is another screenshot to show you the installed base of GNSS devices and also total revenue of GNSS device sales. So you can see some of these are very similar to what you've seen in the previous view graphs. These are from personal navigation devices, PNDs, insurance telematics. As you can see, that market is growing as well. eCall, which is where you get the distress call and the support is rushed to the people who are involved in an accident. Advanced driver assistance systems. Then you're also seeing road user charging. That's something I covered already. In-vehicle systems, smart tachograph, and fleet management. Then on your right, the total revenue that is coming up and how this is growing. The market is growing again in these various sectors. So the biggest market again is in the purple, the fleet management systems. That's growing very fast. And you can also see the map software updates. That's another opportunity that's growing very fast. And the one in the brown is the in-vehicle systems that basically wants the driver and the users. Here's a view graph about the eCall that's being introduced in cars, providing location to the rescue centers in case of emergency. So Volvo was the first world car to make this announcement, equipping its vehicles. I think the model was V60 with a regulated pan-European eCall. So automatically, if the car is involved in an accident, it'll dial automatically and through the satellite signal will reach people that it can rescue and then give the assistance. And then we have, of course, now we have Honda, Skoda, and Daimler, Mercedes. They've all introduced eCalls. So far, 11 eCall models have been tested by GSA and European Commission. So this is another huge opportunity, wide open in India. We don't have it yet. GNSS applications in aviation. So this is like, you can see another big opportunity. Some of these things are already there, and as the aviation services and drone services and UAS services are growing, unmanned vehicle systems, as you can see, these applications have huge opportunity, and this is wide open. And we can see already that Government of India has released drone policies, and there's so much assistance available from the various government departments for you to develop your applications. So regulated application use certified equipment to achieve safe and efficient operations. And of course, the aviation is growing, the adoption of GNSS. Aviation market grows worldwide, and Rotorcraft operations are expanding their use of SBAS. Regulators support expansion of PBN, foreseeing the future use of multi-constellation and multi-frequency. ELT increases sales and enhanced by ADT capabilities. So on your right, you can see those view graphs, installed base of GNSS devices, and the bottom you can see the applications. So all markets are growing. GNSS multi-constellation is becoming a solution for a lot of maritime applications in navigation. So this is it's a primary means of obtaining PNT information at sea. So we have this SOLAS, GNSS to support navigation activities in the sea, and non-SOLAS vessels, GNSS for maritime navigation in commercial and recreational vessels like the luxury liners. On your right, you can see also the inland waterways. So there's also something which the government of India is in the process of implementing. And positioning, traffic management and surveillance. You can see that GNSS-based systems include AIS and also LRIT, fishing vessel control, GNSS to locate fishing vessels. So, you know, especially during adverse weather conditions, you need to locate the fishermen in the sea, and this technology is used. Marine engineering, GNSS to support marine construction activities, port operations, several port activities are performed, and then search and rescue that I've already covered before. GNSS applications are widely extended in the rail transport, mainline command and control systems. This is basically between the main control center and the train assistance and control with high traffic density. GNSS is a source of additional inputs. Low density line command and control systems. GNSS supports signaling on lines with low to medium traffic. Asset management, so you want to know where a particular freight train is. Fleet management based maintenance. Infrastructure charges, intermodal transfer. Passenger information. GNSS is a source of positioning again, and driver advisory system, which actually helps in specifically at operational optimization of the train traffic, and to also avoid collisions. The GNSS use in rail depends on the regions. As you can see, in Europe, which is one of the most advanced rail transport systems in the world, GNSS is to be included as a complementary system for safety relevant operations, in addition to all the safety systems that exist. As you can see in Russia, they're using GPS and GLONASS for train positioning. China is strongly investing in rail infrastructure. India, of course, real-time passenger information. For example, that you want to know where a particular train is. That kind of information is available today from India Rail and similar apps. Then you can also see heavy investments planned in Middle East and North Africa. In the US and North America, positive train control combines control, communications, and information systems, and actually helps in security, precision, and efficiency for train movements, including GNSS for positioning. Then comes a very interesting topic, which is agriculture, which is the backbone of the Indian economy, and I think also in most of the Asian economies. So you see agriculture applications and markets. One of them, of course, well known is the precision agriculture, is the application of different technologies, solutions to manage variability of agricultural production in order to improve crop yield and reduce environmental impact. Then we have farm machinery guidance, uses GNSS positioning to assist drivers in following the optimal path. Then we're looking at automatic steering, completely takes over steering of the farm equipment like tractors from the driver. allowing the operator to engage in core agricultural tasks. This is already available in the market. Variable rate application combines GNSS positioning with information from other sensors and digital maps to distribute the right amount of agri-chemicals so that the soil doesn't become acidic. Yield monitoring enables site-specific monitoring of harvest, combining the output of a yield sensor, biomass monitoring. So I'm not going into the details. This particular deck slides will be made available to you later, so you can also go into the details. But I will just touch upon at a high level in the interest of time. Soil condition monitoring. So just to give you one example is to know what's the level of fertility, what's the level of moisture, and accordingly the farmer can plan what has to be the crop in that particular season. Livestock tracking and virtual fencing, forest management, and then you're looking at agri-logistics, where you're looking at farm machinery, geotraceability. Nowadays, the geotraceability has become very important because the consumer wants to know where the food really came from. So they want traceability. And then field definition. It's measuring precisely the boundaries of the size of the farms. And then go a little bit into some of those applications. Some of them are already there. Quite a lot of startups have come up in the space, not only worldwide, but also in India. Benefits of using drones in agriculture, spotting yield limiting problems, savings in time by covering the entire field faster, easy to use, human eye error is removed, operational with clouds. So it actually, even with the cloud cover, can operate. Then next big opportunity is surveying. So you know about how the roads are being constructed. Metro network is being built in many cities. So there are some of the examples how surveying is playing a major role, and in this GNSS applications are pivotal. Applications in land surveying, cadastral surveying, construction surveying, so machine control, person-based. And you're looking at mapping. So here it's used to define specific location points of interest to take care of environmental and urban planning purposes. Mine surveying involves measurements and calculations at each stage of mine exploitation. Infrastructure monitoring. GNSS is used to monitor critical infrastructure and natural environment to prevent major disaster and promptly intervene in the case of emergencies. Applications in marine surveying encompass a wide range of activities: seabed exploration, tide and current estimation, and offshore surveying. And the outcomes are important for maritime navigation. And you're also looking at new and emerging GNSS applications in the market trends. Democratization of mapping GNSS devices, crowdsourcing some of these smart cities, of course, all of us are aware. Since it is talked about a lot in India, I'll just go into the details of this. It's an urban development meant to improve quality of life, increasing the efficiency of services, and better meeting residents' needs. Different techniques such as EVO images combined with GNSS positioning data, integrated by crowdsourced data and augmented reality, can serve this purpose. GNSS plays a key role also in tracking citizens' mobility, mapping infrastructure. So we know how the CoWIN app played a major role to warn us if there was a particular area which was cordoned off, or there was a sizable number of people that were infected. The app was able to give you warnings about that. So this is an example of how such GNSS applications can be used. And then uptake of PPP, so we are looking at precise point positioning. It's gaining more surveying users. Major players are offering affordable and user-friendly PPP solutions, providing centimeter level accuracy worldwide, covering also oceans with no distance limit from the reference stations. So, for all those who are watching here, especially involved in research or postdoctoral research, there are many opportunities like the ones I touched upon now. GNSS application innovation across major technology developments. So IoT, major development in the role of internet. So we are seeing more and more that IoT is becoming the point of choice for many industrial applications. It's relying on a wide range of different sensors and technologies, and GNSS is one of them that provides localization, especially if you want to track a particular equipment or a device in a particular environment. Big data, the traditional data processing unable to deal with the skyrocketing volumes of data, we are looking at complex systems that are being created to allow big data processing. So GNSS is a major data source providing location and timing information in the world of big data. So proliferation of GNSS devices is boosting the quantity of location and timing data. M-Health, some of that I've already touched upon before. So key M-Health application categories include disability assistance, preventive medicine, and emergency, and leverage fusion of big data and GNSS. Augmented reality integrates digital information with the user's environment. Unlike virtual reality, which creates a total artificial environment, AR uses the existing environment and overlays new information on top. GNSS provides globally available source of geo-referenced information that brings AR into the open. GNSS allows the creation of direct link between the surrounding reality and digital objects. Smart cities feature an integrated system for collecting, measuring, and broadcasting city data for making it easily accessible to citizens, municipalities, and city planners. So GNSS is one of the key technologies used within the infrastructure design and mobility of smart cities, offering numerous opportunities to citizens, local governments, and city planners. Multimodal logistics, this is very common in Europe, but yet to take off in a big way in India. But there's a huge opportunity there. So you can see this is like multimodal logistics refers to the transport of goods by at least two different modes of transport in the framework of single multimodal transport contract. So by buying a ticket for a bus, you'll be also able to travel through water, through a waterway. So we don't have much of waterway in some areas of India. But wherever that exists, you can have a single ticket that can be used by the passenger to move from road to waterway. Logistics service providers draw on GNSS for efficiency, security, and safety. GNSS contributes to the monitoring of cargo along the entire supply chain and enables pivotal asset management applications. We have also been doing Galileo Hackathon, and we did one in 2018 at here in PS in Bangalore, where nearly 300 odd universities took part, and finally 30 teams were selected, and we announced 3 winners who were given handsome prize money. The challenges offered participants an opportunity to share their innovative GNSS model services. So this is another avenue for bringing out some of your best ideas. based on what you see in your environment. ESNC competition has been also around for a long time. European Satellite Navigation Challenge, as we call it, and the Galileo Hackathon. So all these are promoting applications in GNSS. So here is what we're saying: European companies engaged in GNSS Asia activities. On your left are the European companies, on your right are the Asian companies, and you can see from India at the bottom some of the companies like ASL. We have Actronics, Lordson Tubro, AMDL, Roadmatics, Calcito, Opsys. Then we have EI Labs, Forgo Telecom, EGS, and so on. So what we can do for you as from GNSS Asia is we can provide you with networking and matching support, dissemination and marketing support, and market entry. So what this basically means is that we provide you all of this to help you to take your idea to next level, and also to gain knowledge and expertise in GNSS. So just to go into a little bit of details. So in the networking and matching support, we already have the hub, which is a digital platform for you to engage 24/7, 365 days. So stakeholder introductions and matchmaking sessions, high-level EU-Asia delegation visits, personalized interviews identifying individual priorities. Then we have guided company visits. Coming to dissemination and marketing support, speaking slots, so you can talk about what your product is, or you can also create an exhibit, or what you call expo, about your product. Demonstration exhibition opportunities, virtual presentations, dissemination of promotional material, and market entry support. We have access to GNSS marketing information, business opportunities, identifying that, and access to experienced local teams, access to broad industry and institutional stakeholder network. So this is basically the website where you can visit and you can connect with the concerned stakeholders. Like I said, we also have a hub now, which is 24/7 available, and you can connect with us at any time. So I have finished my presentation exactly, Mr. Balaji, at 12:30, which is the time given to me. And now we have a few minutes for Q&A, and then we can pass this to Valen to continue. Over to you, Mr. Balaji. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Krish, for your excellent information on GNSS Asia. Before I switch over to the chat boxes of the participants, I have my one little clarification that in your first few slides, you talked about that you have given services for the management of the Galileo system and all this thing, if I understand it clearly. Do I understand that European Space Agency, who is the responsible for Galileo and IGNOS, so have they outsourced you for this sort of services and management? Do you understand clearly?
Yeah. So I will tell you how it is that the satellite management, let's say the managing it or launching it, or even managing the stations, etc., they take care. Okay. Whereas the marketing of it and then bringing about this collaboration, like I said, between Asia and Europe, is something we have been doing through GNSS Asia. And this GNSS Asia is a program completely funded by the European Commission. So they pay for running this whole operations as well, because they are primarily government servants, right? And as you know, with all due respect, most government servants do not know how to market, and the business part of it, they leave it to the private people. So the private industry takes over and runs it because they do it better than the government. And that is the same thing that we're seeing here. How NavIC come to picture, it may be cost effective for our market, of course. So we talked about here only the applications opportunities, Vikram, that can be used in any market, for example, Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, and so on. Wherever you are, whichever country you are, you can use it. Is there any support available for Indian GNSS startups? Of course. So we already have a database of GNSS startups. The list has been already provided, and we are helping them in every way possible to access the European market. So Mr. Banerjee, coming back to your question, I hope it's clear to you. It's not outsourced, I would say. It is basically an extended arm of what they do. And the private industry does a better job of marketing, of positioning the technologies, or even running many programs like competitions that you saw. And government is to be focused on regulation. They want to make sure systems are working flawlessly. So they want to put their energy there. And they don't have, let's say, bandwidth to run something that we are doing. So that is the reason we've been doing this for now close to 11 years.
So I'd like to put another thing in your mind, that what I understand that you are sort of mentor for some big players of GNSS, like who are marketing and the management and the basic operations. Do you mentor or give some advice for the individual users in GNSS?
Of course, we do.
Okay.
So let me give an example. Right, recently we took about 20 European-based GNSS startups and individually mentored each one of them. And we have a think tank within the GNSS Asia, like I showed you the map, where we have people from South Korea, Japan, we also from China, from India, that's myself. So we had a room full of experts to whom these startups from Europe pitched. And whatever challenges they had, we were able to address that and mentor them correctly so that they can progress further in their journey. So that was a question also from Raj Gaurav. Is there any support available for Indian GNSS startups? Yes, we already are doing it. We have provided about 20 startups from India, selected from the way they are getting traction, they're growing. These lists have been provided and we are supporting them to enter the European market, also the other Asian markets. And this is free of cost.
Okay. Now, apart from the startups, the individual GNSS users have any technical problem or something like they would like to solve. Do you like to help them?
Yeah, so if and when, let's say, each one have their own limitations, right? So depending on the support required, we will connect to the correct mentors. So let me put it that way. So it is not possible for me, for example, to guide every entrepreneur, right? Or someone with a challenge. So wherever possible, I do. And if it is something beyond my knowledge or experience, then I connect to the right people. This is the same played by others also across Asia.
That's good. Anyway, thank you very much, and I would like to switch over to the
so
chat
there's a
box.
question, Mr. Banerjee.
And the chat box.
Yeah, I can see the question. So there's one question from Vikram. Would you like to suggest any hardware for GNSS receivers, etc.? Not sure how these receivers perform. Since in India, the NTRIP, not much centers available, and costly receivers not possible. So whether your receivers are cost effective and work as single model. So Vikram, the next speaker, we have Colonel Valen. He will throw a lot of light on what you just raised. He's an expert on this, and he's been developing receivers in India. And he has also developed a board that you can see when he is talking, and he's going to talk about specifically this particular challenge that you're facing. So my answer is that we don't make receivers ourselves, right? We have a lot of companies in Europe, also in India, who make those. There are a few in India, let me put it that way, and there are many others in Asia. So those you can always approach through those reports, which are freely available at GNSS Asia website. GNSS.asia is a website you can visit, and there are reports freely downloadable, and you can locate a particular vendor. And of course, Colonel Verlin also will give you some more ideas. Hope this answers your question, Vikram.
And I can see another question from Raj Gaurav.
Yeah, that I've already
which
answered.
is, you have already answered it.
Yes, yes.
Any other questions, participants? You can write on the chat box, or as because we have couple of minutes for Mr. Krish, so you can come to the microphone and put your own question. If there is no other question, thank you, Mr. Krish, for your excellent presentation, and this is a very good information for the people who would like to start up, and also the individuals, users who may like to have some help is there. And there is another speaker who is going to talk to us is P.S. Velen. He is already, I can see